Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I did a video. I've been trying to work on this. I've been saying this for like the past year, I feel like, but you know what? 2020 is gonna be my year. So the reason why I wanted to make this video, sorry, my hair's like all over. It's because I've been getting asked questions about how I got into social work, how I like it at FPU, what I'm doing, how my internship is going, how I got into my internship. I recently did host a domestic violence event, which I will insert some pictures later on throughout this video. I have been in school ever since I graduated high school. I went to West Hills, SGVC, you name it. I was just everywhere. I was a little lost puppy. So at first, when I first started school, I wanted to be a nurse. I swore I was going to be a nurse. Like, I was going to be an RN, okay? And I went to West Hills and I started my GE classes. And then after that, I went to SJVC because I wanted something quicker. So I went to SJVC for medical assisting. I did that for a year and a half and I hated it. Like, it was not for me. That was not what I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going back to school. So I went back to school and I ended up finishing my classes and I got an associate's in psychology because I was always into that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and finish what I started. So I got my associate's in psychology and then I went back to try to finish my nursing prereqs. And during this time, it was when my niece passed away. I was actually taking a chem class and I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I don't know what it was. I ended up dropping out of school, and then I decided that I was gonna just do makeup. And like, then after, like, I want to say the second day, I'm like, no, I can't stay home. Like, this isn't me. There was this big old incident that happened with Whistles actually, which whatever, but so I was gonna go back, but I didn't. I ended up waiting it out and I just worked for 2 months. Somehow looked, I wanted to go into FPU with my psychology degree, but for some reason, I don't know if they don't offer that. I don't know how I got into social work. I don't know. Like, if you would have told me 5 years ago I was gonna be a social worker, I was gonna be like, yeah, right, not happening. Like, that's not me. And now that I'm in it and everything, I'm like, wow, like, why didn't I decide this a long time ago? You know, like, it took me so long to figure it out, but I feel like I figured it out. Built out the online thing for FPU. And I don't even know how I stumbled across on it. I don't even remember, but they had called me for an over-the-phone interview, and I had seen that their classes were starting soon, and I believe it's an 18-month program. They had told me that they didn't offer any psychology classes, but they had social work, and she was like, do you know, like, more or less, like, what a social worker is? Literally, social worker, what came to my head was welfare and child services. Like, that was it, you know? Like, I didn't know how broad it was until I was talking to her on the phone and she like went into depth into it and stuff. And then I was like, I mean, I guess I can see myself as one. I was like, I don't know. I guess, you know? So I always say that I fell into social work by accident because I wanted psychology. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, that sounds like me, whatever she described, you know? I know that this was in January because it was for my nephew's birthday. We went to a Laker game. And I had an interview right before we left to the game in the morning. And they just asked me like why I wanted to go into the social work program, a little bit about me, and then about the school. They had asked me like what I would bring to FPU. And I was like, what would FPU bring to me? Like, because I didn't know, you know, like SGVC played me. Like, that school was expensive. And honestly, you guys, I don't feel that I learned there, because everything was so quick. And like, I can learn textbook, like I can read, it's just memorizing. That's how I felt at SJVC. Like, I'm not bashing on them or anything. Like, you know, I feel that I had some great instructors that really took the time to teach, but I feel that I didn't learn enough there. Like, I don't remember half the stuff that I did there, to be honest. But then again, it could be because I didn't really practice it. So that was my biggest concern at FPU, because everything is 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks you get a new class. So the instructor rotates, but you stay in that class, like you with your cohort. You start with your cohort, you end with your cohort. So I like that the classes were fast, but I was still like, oh, am I gonna learn anything? And let me tell you guys, you do learn, and it's like so much to take in. The work is heavy, doable, but really heavy. You have to, time management like needs to be on point, and mine, well, actually it really doesn't, because mine's horrible, and it's okay. It is accredited. So I just went in for the interview that same day, and I think the class started that Tuesday. So I go every Tuesday nights from 6 to 10. So that Monday, like, I had to get everything going, like financial aid, my FAFSA and all that stuff, textbooks, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, this is real. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with it. And everyone was all like, what are you in school for? I'm like, social work. And everyone was like, oh, that's good, da 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 da, like a little confused. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I was gonna be an RN, guys, like, you know. And my dad, like, at first he was like, you just need to decide what you're gonna do, because you can't go to school and school, you know. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I told my dad, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna be exactly, but I will tell you that I will have doctor in front of Lopez. And then he's just like, well, if you get married, it's gonna be doctor whatever. And I'm like, no, because I'm not getting married. And if I ever do get married while I'm doing my doctorate, it's like, too bad, so sad, because I went to school and not my spouse. So, you know, say. And plus, that's like a lot of work to change the last name. Like, no, thank you. I was born this way. God wanted me to have this last name, so it's okay. And I'm really not joking, you guys. Like, I am not going to change my last name. Anyways, back to the important things. So FPU is a Christian-based university. You do start your classes off with a devotion and prayer. Yeah, and you were started off with a dinner with your classmates, and that was actually really cool, because it's like a family dinner basically, because I mean, you're not having dinner at your home. So your classes are small, really small, which I liked, and I was used to because HJVC was set up that way. So it wasn't really much different for me, but I didn't know anybody in there. And then everyone was really nice though. Anyway, Sully is a small town, so you're bound to run into people that you know. So at the end, like, it's so like rewarding, because like you went in not knowing these people, and like you guys like have this bond, you know, like you see everything together, like you experience it together as a whole. And I feel like, I don't know, that I didn't get that experience at different schools, and right here I did. And I really like that, as like corny as that sounds. Admissions process is really quick. I know that you have to do like an essay and like take a test for like your scores to see like where you're at, more or less. So also when you do the social work program with FPU, you do have to intern for 414 hours, which is what I'm doing right now at the moment. So it was like when I first started at FPU, I had went in with my field coordinator that was going to put us in our field placement, because we had to give her 3 options. So basically they had gave us like options. We could give them options to where we wanted to intern. So me personally, I didn't have a specific place where I wanted to, like, in mind, where I was like, oh, I want to work here. Now I know that I do want to be a social worker in hospice or in the prisons, anything around those lines, like I'm all in for. So I had chose, my number 1 was adult protective services. I chose the sheriff's, and then a mental health facility. And then there was a flyer there that said family services starting a 40-hour domestic violence training, and sexual abuse training. And the sexual abuse training was right before DV. But it started like the week after. So I was like, oh no, that's like, I can't do that. So the DV one started like a month later. And then I had told her, like, how do I go about doing this training? Because I wasn't thinking at that time to do my field placement there. But then I was like, it wouldn't be bad to have that training added to my resume, you know, because at this point I was already thinking grad school. So she was just like, oh, you would call the flyer and you know, they'll tell you all the details to sign up and whatnot. And it was free. So I had called and I spoke to the coordinator that was in charge of that. I signed up, and because in order to volunteer or do your internships there and everything like that, you have to complete that training. So I did that training in March. So I had already seen what it was about. At first, I was like, what am I doing here? But then, like, each meeting got really interesting, and it really, like, it had me intrigued, you guys. Like, I wanted more. Like, I was like, okay, like, I can watch videos and stuff, but, like, what is it like in real life, you know? And, I started, volunteering first with them before my hours. I started volunteering, and, I got to see more. Like, I got to answer hotlines. I got to, you know, see the legal side of it, because they do offer legal services and a shelter and such like that, which is where I'm at now with family services. And this is where I decided that I wanted to do a domestic violence event, because it was Domestic Violence Awareness Month for October. So at the shelter, I did notice that we would run out of undergarments really fast, or we didn't have the size or like the sizes for women's bras or anything like that. So I was like, I think that it would be really cool to do one, because I mean, I could have gone out and get them myself, but really, like, so much that I can do too, you know. And I was like, if I can get the community to get involved, because not a lot of people know about DV, and I didn't know how common it was until I got into it. I was like, nobody ever talks about this. At least, like, people that I'm surrounded by, like, I'm teaching them, you know. And I will tell you guys, the first couple times when I volunteered, I would go home and I would be like, what am I doing? Like, can I do this? Like, I would literally pep talk myself, because for one, I work at a hospital, and that was already draining as it is. That's like a whole nother thing. You know, you get the experience and you learn so much. Like, there's so much to it. There's days too where, like, it's a little tough and you're like, you know, I really wish you could help everybody, but you really can't. That's the way it is. Like, I wish that I could just, like, help everyone, but it's hard. And I think to me, that was one thing that I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to tell this person, like, no, I can't help you? So I'm actually going to insert some of the pictures here on the screen somewhere here or here. It was a really good event. It was my first time in making an event like that. It's something that I want to do often now. Just to get people involved and just bring more awareness, and you know, it's okay to reach out for help, and things are confidential, you guys. I won't sit here and tell you, like, yeah, so and so called, or, you know, like, I'm not gonna go tell so and so, hey, so and so came into to where I work at and stuff like that. Like, it's not like that at all. I think that social work is really broad, like I said. So there's so much to it, and I feel that a lot of people would really do good in this field if you're really in it to help people. Because honestly, like, I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, like, social workers don't even make that much money. And I'm like, yeah, but it's something, if it's something that you like, it really doesn't matter. Because I remember when I was going for it, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you guys make hella good money if you stick to it. And I'm like, yeah, but then it's just making it seem like I'm just in it for the money. So do I really care about my patients then? Like, no, I'm all about helping the people and I'm gonna do it. And it took me this long to find out that this is what I wanted to do, but I know that this is what I'm meant to do. Like, I even went and like told my counselor, my high school counselor, like I invited her to my graduation. And she's just like, I read it in your yearbook, and she did, you guys. She had put nursing school is cool and all, and you'll do great, but I'll see you back here when you decide to be just like me. And yeah, when I went to go tell her to graduate for social work, my phone's going crazy. She was like, I told you. And she's like, congratulations, like, you know, I'm so proud of you. Because you guys, I hated high school. Like, I would never redo my high school year. Like, I hated high school so much. I wanted out. And when it came to college, I really liked it just because like it wasn't about circles, it wasn't about like ditching class anymore or anything like that, you know. Like, it was me as a person. This is when I found myself. Like I said, this is when I started to learn things about me that I wouldn't have known, you know. That's a little bit about my experience, about how I got into social work. I'm currently working on a thesis because you do need, I left that part out. So before you graduate, you do need to write a thesis. So I'm actually doing mine on how domestic violence affects a woman's mental health, and I'm currently working on that. I just turned in a 6-page paper, which papers will be your best friends, guys. I actually got a professor though that she is amazing. She is amazing. She will make you learn how to write an APA paper, because trust me, I suck at that. And she was so like, I can write papers, but like to format it, and she was so amazing. She's hard, but to the T, guys, she's really good. So yeah, I'm 6 weeks away from graduating, and I'm currently applying to grad schools, 2 only, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try these 2 schools. If I get in, I get in. If not, I'm taking the year off, because it's really needed for my mental health and for my own sanity and for everyone around me. It's needed. So actually the school that I'm actually really interested in getting into doesn't start till May. So acceptance letters go around February, March. So hopefully, I'm praying on it, everything goes good. But yeah, I think that if you guys are really interested, and FPU offers a lot of different majors, it's not just social work, you guys should definitely look into it. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just literally sharing my experience because so many people have asked me questions, and I kind of read through most of them. Who motivates you to accomplish all your school goals? So my biggest motivators, guys, I have 2. My biggest motivators are my dad and my eldest brother. My dad's always been really big on education. Like, as far as I can remember, basically. My dad would always be like, you do good in school and you can have anything you want. And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, and I was a really good student in elementary. Middle school was okay. High school, like my freshman and sophomore year, forget it. Like, I was not having it. I did not want to be there. I had actually got homeschooled my sophomore year, and I did really good actually when I was homeschooled. I think I was just more like an introvert, I guess you would say, at that time. I don't know. I was focused in all the bad things, and you know, teenage stuff. I had my phase. Everybody has it. And then my junior and senior year, I did really well. Brother's always been one to push me with my motivation, like for school and stuff. In a way as well, when my niece passed away, this was the first like death that we had that was close to the family. So the way that I saw my brother and my sister-in-law handle it really pushed me, like, you need to do this, because they were so strong. And I'm like, what if there's people who cannot do what they did? Like, there's people who would lose it, you know? And I'm not saying that my brother and my sister-in-law didn't have it bad, because I mean, I don't know what they felt, but I know it wasn't a pretty feeling. And they were really strong. Like, let me tell you guys, they're like one of the strongest people that I know. Also, I myself was receiving services like therapy, and I felt like that really helped me too. Like, it was somebody that I could talk to, and I feel like everybody kind of needs that person. Like, even if they don't say nothing back, like, just to like have them listen to you, like, it makes a big difference. So I kind of related that back to my experience. Sorry guys, I'm turning off my phone and it's like a little bit right now. So those are the people who really just like motivate me, and I have these plans in my head, supposedly young, where I kind of want to see if like some type of way my sister-in-law, my brother would want to like start some type of foundation or something for my, like, in memory of my niece, so like people are more aware. Like, I'm just throwing my ideas out there, but I think it would be really cool if you can start some type of foundation like that. So this concludes the end of my video. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions that I didn't answer, because I kind of did ramble on here, go ahead and message me. I try my best to literally get back to everyone, but it's so hard sometimes. Or sometimes when I have a long answer and I'm getting the same question, I'm like, I'll answer it in a video, but it takes me a while to do that too. So if you guys do have any more questions, comment down below, message me, anything, and I'll do my best to try to answer it for you guys. Some of you have been DMing me like about setting up appointments and stuff like that, which is cool. Like, I can give you guys a quick answer like that. But yeah, if you guys are into this social work field, I think you guys should totally do it. We can definitely use a lot more social workers, and nice ones, please. And yeah, this is the end of my video, and thank you guys so much for watching.